In this video, I'm going to make two arguments. I'm going to say that one, Bitcoin is either going to $1 million or it's going straight to zero. Bitcoin is the stupidest currency. It absolutely makes zero sense. This is a digital currency that you literally can't spend anywhere. You can't spend it on any popular website. You can't spend it at CVS or Starbucks. It's literally useless. On the other hand, I can't spend gold at Starbucks either. I can't spend stocks at CVS or Walgreens. And there is a lot broken with the currency systems. I mean, credit cards don't make a lot of sense either. Now first, let's start with the argument of why Bitcoin is going to $1 million. The 15-second explanation of Bitcoin is that it's digital money, and the key about the digital money is that you can only spend it once. Unlike the dollar that is backed by the government, Bitcoin is backed digitally. It means we trust in the digital blockchain, the algorithm that puts Bitcoin together. Now, to understand how Bitcoin could be worth $1 million in the future, we have to look at how money is stored. Around the world, we use lots of different instruments to capture and store value. There's over $50 trillion in stocks and securities, $40 trillion in bonds, $37 trillion in cash, and over $9 trillion in gold. That's an absolutely huge amount of wealth, over $136 trillion around the world. And I'm not even talking about other ways to store value like Pokemon cards, art collections, or real estate. Just in paper and minerals, $136 trillion. And if you estimate that $136 trillion and say, maybe Bitcoin can capture 10% of that. So at just 10% of the world's stored value, that would be over $600,000 for just a single Bitcoin. And if you're more optimistic about Bitcoin, if you think that this vehicle, this digital currency can store more of the world's value than 10%, then Bitcoin could easily get to $1 million just by holding 15–16% of the world's wealth. If you think about it, cryptocurrency is still in its first inning. It's still really early. The majority of people don't understand cryptocurrency. Most stores don't accept it. But as you imagine this currency growing, its stability will continue to grow and more stores will start to accept it. In fact, PayPal is announcing that later this year, they will start accepting Bitcoin on all of their transactions. Other companies like Square are also introducing digital currencies in their entire suite of small business tools. And so we can expect to see a lot more proliferation and use of Bitcoin in the future. So before you get too excited about Bitcoin, I want to go into depth on the other possibility, and that's that Bitcoin could go to zero. And I'll explain why this could happen as well. So as digital currencies get more and more popular, you can expect governments will react in two ways. The first is regulation. We're already starting to see elements of regulation in this year's tax returns. Cryptocurrency will make its appearance for the first time, and you can expect more and more regulations on cryptocurrencies over the years. And the second is that governments could start to introduce their own digital currency. You can imagine a digital dollar that is backed by the US government. Lots of governments are already starting to talk about this, and a couple of governments are actually experimenting with how this would work in practice. As Bitcoin continues to grow, we can expect large countries like the US, China, Russia, and others to pay very close attention to Bitcoin and how they can either manipulate it or use it to their advantage. Outside of regulation, there's another thing to be concerned or at least aware of, and that's what's called a 51% attack. If a government can control over 51% of all of the computers working on Bitcoin at one time, they can fool the network into thinking they're the authority. This has actually happened with other cryptocurrencies, and millions of dollars have been stolen. It's a legitimate concern when you're thinking about cryptocurrency and the future of computing technology, whether it's a 51% attack, quantum computers, or new technology that hasn't even been invented yet. So which one is it? Is it going to $1 million or is it going to zero? Well, I actually view Bitcoin a lot like my other angel investments in that it is highly speculative. It has some risk built into it, but there's a huge upside as well. So while I think Bitcoin has a lot of maturing to do, I do view it as a good angel investment, and I do hold one Bitcoin, which I'm hoping will go to $1 million rather than going to zero, but we'll have to watch and see exactly what happens. I think it's an incredibly interesting and disruptive technology. I like it a lot more than credit cards, even though the user experience isn't there today. If that user experience gets there, I think it could really take off. I'm Greg Raiz. If you've seen a couple of my videos, I'd really appreciate you hitting the subscribe button or the like button, leaving a comment. It helps me out and get the message out to more people about technology, entrepreneurship, business, and design. I hope I'll catch you on the next one.